system. They don't go for blood type, they go for body types. You know, Kappa, Vata, and so forth and so on. But how did you get, what is Kappa is? What is Kappa?
I think that's like kind of the medium build, I think.
Medium built. And then there's moist and dry.
Moist and dry, yeah.
So what makes somebody moist or
I
dry?
don't know where I fall on that.
It's their plate.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're too moist, you better not be eating no more moist stuff.
What makes it? I didn't hear your answer. What was the answer?
What makes, okay, do you know what type you fall under in their system?
It's a chart.
I do.
So,
I'm a Vata.
you Vata, so what is Vata?
It's
Switch up.
kind of, oh gosh, brown eyes.
Brown eyes?
Yeah. And it
We even got that.
curly hair.
Curly hair.
I mean, like I said, they and but it's, I think it's I'm dry. Supposed to be dry. I can't remember.
Yeah,
It.
you asked about blood type?
Yes,
No,
this is a question.
this is about oh yeah.
And you said it's
Who
bullshit.
put the chart? The Ayurvedic chart.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
Yeah, let's go to the
Yeah,
source.
because I'm kind of falling between both, but not any of them really. So
Yeah, it was good.
Or we could skip the Ayurvedic and just go to the, ask them to show us the blood types.
Veda,
Veda,
Peta, and Kapha.
so what's the difference?
Okay, Veda is.
Right, I can't see it.
I got it. Want me to read it?
Yeah. You might have to go to a different one. It's kind of.
Veda, catabolism, anabolism, short, thin, weak is the body structure.
Wait. Short, thin,
And weak.
and weak.
Okay.
Now, was this person born this way? They ate themselves that way, or something.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So what stunted your growth?
I've been asking that my whole life.
Yeah. Well, that's biological. I think that's biological. So weak.
Yeah.
Is that biological?
Nah.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? Right.
Pitta is medium, plump, and delicate.
Medium plump. How did you become plump?
That's what.
What's
How did you
plump?
become delicate?
I did fat. Fat. They be like, so that's your plate. That's your plate. That's based on your plate. And delicate. What's delicate? If you fat. Then you
I don't know.
yeah, see. So for me, you know, I'm very careful with these types of things.
The last one is Kapha, well built, full.
Well built. How did you get so well built? You eating a whole bunch of meat, a whole bunch of protein. So then they're gonna tell you what you should not eat if you well built, or what you should eat if you well built. That's already based on the constitution of your body, based on how you built yourself. So obviously, there's certain things you got to be careful with. So we say the same thing, it's just a rehash, regurgitation with a different twist, a different marketing angle. And that's what the
Blood type diet.
the blood type. So let's read the blood type and let's see how that.
Oh, I can't eat nothing. I don't like anything on my blood type. I'm like, I can't. I think I'm supposed to be eating lamb. And
Oh, are you B?
What's up, though?
I'm B. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm A.
Hey,
A positive.
I can't eat garbanzo beans. I love garbanzo beans. Are we gonna talk about sprouting beans as well?
yeah, see things like that you can pretty much find. There's plenty of information online. So what I'll do, I just bring some books, but we'll talk about it. But talking about it, it's really more an action thing.
For sure.
But you got to really do it. Yeah, because talking about it, you're not going to really, there's a lot of stuff that comes up. And it's a big process, but see, for me,
You don't do it.
number one, if you're going to sprout beans, because you love beans,
Just garbanzo beans. I love hummus. That's all.
Yeah, well, that's easy. We could soak some today. So you soak them for 12 hours like you soak all other beans and seeds and nuts. Then you let it germinate within 24 hours after you drain the water and rinse it. Then it goes into sprouting. So it needs to sprout really about 4 to 5 days, rinsing it twice a day. So all you're doing is rinsing twice a day, and you don't let it sit in a puddle of water, because once you've soaked it, you've removed the enzyme inhibitor and you've activated them. So now they're living foods. So they're breathing and living now, and they're producing weight, so you have to get them a bath twice a day. So you rinse them twice a day, but you can't let them sit in water. After you've drained them and rinsed them, you sit them in a porous, colander or cheese bag, cloth or something, and just let it grow, sprout the roots. It's the roots that are coming out. So you just let it grow, and you rinse it twice a day. And each time it's absorbing water. So it's like a super slow process cooking tried to advance the process. So cooking just tried to speed everything up. So instead of waiting and let it absorb enough moisture over 5 days to get full of water and make it edible, you boil it because you want it in 15 minutes and pump water into it. So you kind of you're trying to bypass nature's process. But in the process of boiling it, now you kill the beans. You destroy the life force in it. So the digestive enzymes get destroyed. That's the most critical thing. So now they can't digest on their own, which means you have to produce digestive enzymes to now break them down. And that's when you get the itis. Because producing digestive enzyme is the biggest job you can ask your body to do. And you get tired because it pulls energy from other sources. So you soak them, you sprout them, and then you blend them like you're going to make hummus. Same way you do the recipe. But it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same because it's what we like about regular hummus is that the beans are cooked, they're soft, and what we call it, sensuous. We like these soft, sensuous, creamy. It's going to have a little more texture to it, but it's going to taste good because you put in the same seasoning in it, and it won't be as smooth unless you sprout it for enough days. And most of the time they tend to spoil, if you sprout them too long.
Do you keep them in the refrigerator while they're sprouting them, or
You keep them at room temperature, and in 4 or 5 days they sprout. But if you keep them in the fridge, it will be about 2 or 3 weeks. It's just a slower process because it's a lower temperature. But the thing is there's a book that's called Sprouts for the Love of Your Body. You're sprouting because you love your body. And this book breaks down the scientific nutritional analysis of all sprouts. So one thing that's interesting, lentils. Lentils are the best beans you could eat. Lentils are about 70% protein. That's high in protein. The nice thing about lentils is that it doesn't come with fat. So it's the preferred bean of choice because it's not, you can turn that energy into sugar without having to try to turn fat into sugar. Turning fat into sugar is harder than turning starch into sugar. And especially most of the fat we're eating, we're heating it. So it's harder to even turn it into sugar. So lentils are 70% protein. That's in their dry, raw state. And you soak them, you cook them, they drop down to about 65% protein. Because now you've diluted the protein with water because you pump water into it. The lentil sprouts, the nutritional analysis, sprouted lentils, it's about 35% protein. The protein cuts in half. Because you're sprouting them for about 4, 5, 6 days. And you just pump in water. It's just absorbing water, and it grows long. Like bean sprouts, like you buy bean sprouts, like soybean sprouts or mung bean sprouts. When you hear bean sprouts, it's usually mung bean sprouts. Those are the easiest ones to sprout. And they're just full of water. So you leave them out of the fridge for a few hours, the water spoils, so it stinks. Alfalfa, all of these things. All they've done is put water into it. So now they're selling you water, which you could do yourself. So sprouting is very economical. But the thing is, you're diluting the nutritional count because now it's full of water. So you're not going to get the protein from lentils when they're sprouted because now you've cut the protein in half. And then also, bueno, me llama, hablamos. So now the lentils are nice and mushy and really sensuous, you know. Sprouted lentils are not going to cut it. You won't even like it. It's no mush, there's no, unless you go ahead and steam them quickly, just 5 minutes, just blanch them, then good. But, no, I don't eat any beans. It's starch. It's still starch. But see, that's the thing. Ask dummy how long my great-great-great-grandparents been eating lentils. 10,000 years. We're experimenting. This is all experiment. This is all experiment. All of it is experiment. Unless it's fruits and vegetables and nuts, tree fruits. Even the vegetables is experiment. All the grass, we're not grass eaters, we're not lettuce eaters, spinach eaters at all. All that is experiment. But it's easier to get away with that because it's full of water. Because you're 70% water. But the protein and the starch, once you pump water into them, you have a hard way to go. Because that water is going to dry out in your system. The starch gets crystallized. You know, that's what, you know, happens to the stiffness, the dryness, and all of these things. The fat becomes wax. Earwax. That's like fried food from 40 years ago. It's just, it's supposed to come out through the lymphatic drainage system, which is like the grease trap. But by the time it gets to the end point to drain out, it's been crystallized and it's now wax. So some people, you know, they syringe it out.
Yes, I used to do that when I was a medical assistant. It makes sense. That's good. Traumatized you.
Yeah, they
now it's something
syringe
coming
it
out
out.
people's ears and the shakes.
The ear candle.
Hairs.
The air candle. So we're going to do, air coating is going to be part of your therapy on Saturday. We're going to do that. So eating is a hazard to your health, anywhere you slice it in modern, here, specifically.
Just, you know, because people, I'm not talking about people who are using perms and chemicals in their hair. I'm not talking about people.
Yeah, but, yeah, so what's,
But, you know, our hair changes as we get older, men are losing their hair earlier. So what is causing our hair to change?
men are not losing their hair.
Okay.
Women are not losing their hair, but men are losing their hair. But what is going on with men is the topsoil. You need a topsoil to hold your hair up there. So it's the same thing. The topsoil from the planet has been eroded because they took the trees out. So what happens, the topsoil from up here, I mean, okay, so you're 10 years old, you're 12 years old, and what happens when you start having whiskers? starts from up here, right? See the little stuff, the men, the little boys? Then you see it down here. Then you see it down. The topsoil is coming down. So by the time you're 75, topsoil from here is now here. So your hair is growing this way now. So it's the shifting of the topsoil with men. And it's not that the hair is falling out, the topsoil is shifting, so there's nothing to grow anything there anymore. Because we're living upright. Because we're living upright, that's a big part of it. You know, your hair is going to lose color. Now that's talking, you know, gray hair. That's pretty much in the family. That's part of your genetics in terms of how fast it happens. But you could see it, like for example, I could show you a photo of my son right now. I'm 75, he's 50, 51 or something like that. He's grayer than me. He's grayer than me at 51. Okay? And my graying got delayed because of the way I'm eating.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it is really starch. The graying is starch. It's like starch. You're not going. I'm going to be. I'm sounding so boring by tomorrow. It's like a broken record.
Stop eating
Starch. That's why the keto got over. All it is starch free. That's all they do. And they look up the Pritikin diet. Pritikin. Pritikin, Dr. Pritikin, in the 70s and early into the 80s, starch-less diet. It's the same thing.
Atkins.
Then when Pritikin died, Atkins repackaged it. But Pritikin was vegetarian. He was vegetarian, no meat. Up your protein. Get rid of the starch, because starch and protein don't combine in the same body. So it's a big success. He's healing people, getting them off of starch and upping the protein. Pritikin, with his real slick self, he wanted to make more money. So he's like, get rid of the starch, get rid of the potato, and eat twice the amount of meat, chicken, fish, anything. He upped the meat. And he died just as fast as his customers. And now keto, they learn from both of them. So they coming from a whole different, and it's cool to be a vegan. We got the vegan keto now. But what do they tell you? All they tell you to do is stop the starch, cut the starch. But what they tell you to increase? The butter, the fat, the gravy, the cheese. And cheese is starch. It's still milk, but it's been pre-digested so you can get away with it a little better.
Lots of tofu.
So, it's what?
Lots of tofu in the keto, like for vegans and stuff like that. I think they
Well,
do
tofu is
Yeah.
protein. It's protein. So right, they're gonna get you off the rice.
Can we talk about protein? I think that's like the vegans' pet peeve when people say, "How do you get your protein?" Like,
I got my
protein
protein from my mama. My mama built me on 2.5% protein. Mother's breast milk is 2.5% protein, right? How the heck did she get to build this big man on 2.5% protein? And they're advocating we eating soybean is 80% protein. What the heck? From 2.5% to make us big grown people, and we fully grown. You're supposed to stop growing after 20. So what are you doing with 80% protein in soybean? What are you building? Cancer cells?
Yep.
Can't be nothing else, because the advocates of soybean that brought soybean to America, you heard about it, the microbiotic diet. You didn't hear about the microbiotic diet? These things go out of style fast.
Yeah.
I've heard it. I don't know too much.
For your microbiome you're talking about.
No, macrobiotic. Macro. Macrobiotic. This is the diet that came out of Japan. You can look it up. Dumby got the record on all of these fools. Michio Kushi and George Oshawa in the 70s brought the macrobiotic diet to the West. They repackaged the Japanese diet and sold it to the West. Brown rice and soybean was the foundation. Brown rice and soya bean. Soybean, anything, everything. And brown rice. When they first brought it to the West, they were killing a whole bunch of folks. Number one, they say no fruits. Fruits are unnatural. Human beings should not eat fruits. Because of course, with all of that brown rice in your system, that's too much starch. You can't handle fruits. You can't handle fruit sugar. There's a conflict right there. And they got all the scientific reason why you should not eat fruit. But goddamn, they came out of Japan. Japan can't grow any fruits. Japan don't have any land. That watermelon, the biggest one over there, you try to buy one of those in Japan, everybody went there and bought a watermelon. It's about $100. Yeah, because they ain't got no land to grow nothing. Anything they grow, you see the little apples they grow, the Japanese, the Asian pears and stuff, they put a little styrofoam on it and make it sort of look, because they got to charge you big money. The thing, like it don't need to be bumped, to get bruised. They ain't never got bruised. But it's just to justify them charging so much money. Fruits are totally expensive in Japan. So they come up with this theory that humans should not eat fruits because the Japanese can't sell it to you. So the macrobiotic diet came to the West as another Japanese import, another Toyota. And they bought it big time. A lot of folks in Europe was dying about it because it's mostly starch and protein. No fruits, very little vegetables. And it's all laced with salt.
Yeah.
Everything is laced
And
with
you said
salt.
salt is a razor blade.
It's a razor blade, triple edge.
What does that mean?
It cuts you up.
Oh.
So most people, once you reach a certain age, about what age you think that is, or maybe you've reached it already, that you go to your doctor and your doctor tell you cut back on sodium.
45.
45.
45.
So doc, what the fuck are you talking about? At 45, you telling me to cut back on salt?
Yep.
Everybody. They tell this to everybody. Everybody. So wait a minute. Why, doc? Why? It builds up in the body. It does not leave the body. And you reach a saturation point where you cannot handle any more salt in your body. So why put it in the first place? What's the value of salt? Why are we using salt? What's the nutritional value of salt?
Nothing.
Nothing. Nothing. They have paralyzed our 360 taste buds. We have 360 taste buds. Salt has neutralized every single one of them. So the taste we're hooked on today, they've really got it down to a real science. The taste that human beings are hooked on today: salt, sugar, and fat in the same bite. You go up and down the supermarket aisles. Salt, sugar, and fat. You go to the natural food aisles, glorified salt, sea salt, Himalayan salt, some kind of salt, pink salt, any kind of salt, sugar, coconut aminos, agave, real glorified sugar. But it's sugar. And the fat. Coconut oil, olive oil, avocado oil, grapeseed oil. And we thought we beat the Matrix. They reshuffle the decks. They come back at a different angle.
Yeah.
Dr. Aris, can I ask you this? What about like moving forward? Do you think we are meant to eat every day? Are we meant to eat every day? To eat, period, really.
Big question. Big question.
I'm saying that because kids, when they're toddlers and they're haven't got addicted to stuff yet, they skip things.
Yeah. No, we're not meant to eat every day. We're eating too much, period. The volume, and too frequent, period.
Right.
3 meals a day is definitely overkill.
But I mean, like skipping 2 days.
We can, absolutely, absolutely, yeah. So we have to basically reprogram the body. The program ain't working. So you gotta like pretty much do a recall of the body and go back to factory setting. You gotta drain it out at some point. You gotta drain it out completely.
You need herbs to drain it though. Because sometimes people like, you can keep putting good food in, but what about the stuff that's been packed in there for?
Well, the thing is, sometimes it's better for them to feel it coming out so they can know not to go back there again. But the herbs and the crutches like that make you bypass certain factors that you don't want to associate with. And then next thing you know, you go back for the next one again once you've been clean. Easy.
Because the herbs make it easy and make it all come out.
So we're using herbs as crutches. Crutches. Oh, I'm gonna just have it this time. I'm going out with the folks, and I'll just take a laxative tomorrow, tonight. I'll take an enema, what the heck, or wheatgrass enema, or I'll take a colonic, I'm gonna get it. So it's a crutch. No, it's not that I don't like it, it's a crutch. It's a crutch. The thing is, if you're impacted, yes, and it's an emergency, yes. But you're making it a habit. It's helping you to not step up and do the right thing. And the right thing is stop putting in the cause that makes you want to have to take enemas or laxatives or colonics or any of these kind of things.
So I'm on this train. It's like, all right, I'm eating the right things, no starches, only natural fruit sugars. Will my body, I've come so far now, but I definitely feel like I've reached like a plateau. Will my body ever be able to flush the damage from before without the assistance or
Without the crutches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I need. I feel good.
But number one, don't put any more of the cause in.
Okay.
Don't ask me what's good for it. Ask me what's bad for it. And remove that first.
Okay.
First. Including the environmental hazards.
That means a lot of us will have to move.
Huh?
A lot of us will have to move.
We did.
Well, the environment is a big hazard to our health. And the smoking of the ganja, the drinking of the this and that, all of these, anything that intoxicates the body. You get intoxicated when you drink alcohol because it's toxins. That's what I say, you're intoxicated. What? What are mushrooms?
Psychedelic mushrooms.
What are they though? What are they? Huh? Fungus.
When you call them a scab or a scar.
Certain of them are scab. But is mushroom food?
Or you're not eating it for food.
Sometimes, some mushrooms you do.
Wait, come on. Which ones?
Oyster mushrooms.
Oyster, come on, let's talk with one
White
voice first.
mushrooms, portobello mushrooms.
Wait, hold on. That's right. Name them.
Maitake, yellow,
Name them.
turkey tail,
Name
portobello,
them. Real nice.
white mushroom,
Real nice.
oyster mushroom. You about to hurt my heart right now. Oh my god.
Mushrooms like 3 times.
Yeah, oyster mushroom is my favorite.
Okay.
But get me right, man. I'm here.
Right here.
Okay. I've inquired in with the dummy quite a few times, so I almost know it by memory. One of the first things that come up is toadstool. Mushroom is toadstool. What is toadstool? What's a toad?
Frog.
A frog. It's frog shit. Mushrooms are toxic release from the earth. They're toxic release from the earth. they're white heads or brown heads. I ought to see many black ones. So they white, most of them white, brown or something. They toxic release from the earth. Mushroom pop up after the rain, right?
Yeah.
Big time. Right, they get flooded out. It's detox, it's released, toxins coming out. Toxins coming out of the earth.
So mushrooms are no good.
Mushrooms are not food. The first thing Dummy tell you is they're fungus. And we know we're trying to get rid of fungus out of the body, right? We don't want fungus in our body. But yet we're eating it as food. It is not food. It has no nutritional value at all. They're parasites. They sponge off for something else.
I wish I could argue with you, but
You can argue
I feel
with
my
me.
body.
I'm not
I know
arguing.
you're right. I know you're right. I know you're right.
So, what do you call them? Oh, they grow in darkness.
Yeah.
It's no sunshine.
No light.
No
Oh
sunshine.
my God.
No sunshine. No sunshine. They're not sun fired. And they're frog shit. And they're fungus. And what's the next thing about them? They're poisonous. They're all toxins. The difference with the ones that are wild, well, you got to be a mushroom connoisseur. You start messing with that.
Yeah.
Because they'll kill you on the spot. Even the psychedelic ones, a lot of them will kill you in the minute, instant. All mushrooms are poisonous. All mushrooms are toxins. All mushrooms poison the bodies, just some will kill you right now. Others might take 50 years, 40 years. So the cultivated mushroom, have you ever even just had the nerve to ask Dummy, how the fuck do they grow mushrooms?
We grown some.
Look at the process. You
Yeah.
growing some. Tell us the
Manure,
process.
you got- it's like manure.
Shit. Yeah, it feeds off of shit.
It's like hearing you say it makes it way worse than.
Manure. It's like trying to be educated.
Yeah. Golly.
Manure is shit.
Golly. Yeah, they say it's sterile. It's like, but it's shit.
It's shit. And the biggest oaks they pulled on us in modern times is the kombucha.
I knew
Oh,
I knew
shit.
it. I knew it.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Kombucha. What the heck? Who kombuchas?
We both getting right now. We both.
Huh?
Just take it.
I had the kombucha like twice in a row, and I had broke out in webs that were like sores. It looked like somebody had done this to me. They were wet.
Like chaga.
What's chocolate?
What's chaga mushroom connoisseur? Chaga mushrooms.
But I broke out.
That's the big one on the scene today. Pull it up.
What about kombucha though?
Kombucha. You know the legend? Y'all don't even know the origin of the stuff?
No, because I don't drink it.
Drink it. I drink it. Do you?
Let's hear it. Let's hear it, Dr. Lady.
So 1982. Oh, my mind my hard drive is still sound. No pre-Alzheimer's here. 1982, somebody out of Russia discovered a lost mushroom that hasn't been on the scene for a long time. A couple of thousand years. How did they even know that? Somebody found one. Kombucha, yeah, the Russian name. Kombucha. Somebody found one of these things. And how they miraculously know that it feeds on sugar, right? That mushroom feeds on sugar, white sugar, and green tea. Green tea. That's how they do it. You ever did it?
I know how to do it, but I've never done it.
Yeah, so somebody who found this one, and how many of us here? 8 of us right now. She found it, and she brought it to the table and divided up into 9 pieces. So she kept her piece, and each of us took our piece, and we put it in sugar and green tea, and it lived off of that. And next thing you know, it grew up to be a full kombucha mushroom again. And each person that grew one, they divvy it up and pass it on. It was free. Whoever cooked this thing up, they had a marketing shit that was going on. It was free. They never sold it. It was free. Kombucha was free for about 5 years. Free, free, free. No cost. It was like that. Yeah, I got this much. Divvy it up, put it in tea and coke and sugar, and you see what happened. And please pass it on. That's some serious marketing stuff.
That sounds made from the lab.
Huh?
That sounds lab made.
Woo! Straight from the lab. Somebody cooked this thing up. Somebody cooked this thing up. And now, what are we today? 40 years later? 40 years later, big industry. Huge. They got breweries. Kombucha brewery, they making it like they make brew.
Yeah.
Holy shit. And big money.
Yeah.
Big money. So what's the deal? We educated. What's the deal? And we fell for this. We don't go into the archives. We don't read the history. We don't know the origin of stuff. We don't know the legend behind these things. Somebody got over real big. Who knows? It could be part of the Russian genocidal system to wipe out the Western civilization. Who knows? Who knows? The damn macrobiotic diet was part of the Oriental, Chinese, Japanese system to wipe out the Americans who nuked the Japans. So the ones who brought the macrobiotic diet to the U.S., Michio Kushi and Aveline Kuchi, look them up. They even wrote a book. The macrobiotic diet is the anti-cancer diet. Anti-cancer diet. You will not, if you have cancer, it's going to heal you from cancer, and you'll never get cancer if you eat macrobiotic. Ask Dummy what happened to Michio Kushi and his wife, Aveline Kushi, and Georgia Shawa, is their accomplice. They died from cancer. All of them died from cancer. And now the diet is fizzled out. Another experiment did not work. Saying like the Pritikin diet didn't work. The Atkins diet didn't work. Now the keto folks repackage it on the keto, and it's the same thing. Same thing. Yeah, but they got the foundation, get people off of starch, and you're gonna heal. Folks was eating people from cancer with cow's blood back in the days. People that were eating people from disease with just feeding them their own shit. Yeah, you put it in your food, and because your body produces the antidotes for it. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on today. My man, the herbalist, Yaki, he call it witchcraft and all kind of stuff, whatever it is, But but this stuff has been going on, and it's getting worse.
Yeah. So this is one of my favorites. What about coconut or almond yogurt? And even if you make it yourself.
How you make it?
You ferment it?
Fermenting it's not the best. You can culture it. You don't want, once you ferment, you turn things into acid form. So you can culture it. It's pre-digested, that's good. But why do you need it? Why do we need it? Because we're eating something that's producing negative bacteria, and we're looking for all of this positive bacteria to clean up our intestinal flora. So it's cool, sauerkraut, fermented cabbage, and that stuff like that. The Germans engineered it so it can go down with the hot dog. It's designed to digest the hot dog. Without sauerkraut, the hot dog don't digest. When the Germans engineered the burger, they slap a piece of lettuce, tomato, onion, mustard, pickle. This is all to digest the meat. It's digestive enzyme. They put that 20% raw food in there to digest it. And they put the pickle because it's got digestive enzymes, extra digestive enzyme like the sauerkraut. Kimchi, all
That's
the same thing.
crazy.
So when you go to the wax shop and you say hold the fixings, you say hold the digestion. These are the trimmings we call it. This is this is what was put in there to digest the food. So there's a lot of stuff that the bankers basically, they're the ones. The bankers.
So my mom has early onset dementia. Do you have any recommendations? I know there's no cure.
What's her age? This cure?
She's 75 this year.
75 this year, and her brain is shrinking, is drying up like a prune. It's shriveling up. Starch. But it's hard getting her off of starch now. Man, she turned the house upside down. She's a junkie. That's the problem with starch as a drug. We produce the drug. We produce the joke. We're the manufacturer. And they'll tell you that you can't just eat one. Damn right. So that's the problem. It's hard at that age. So you pretty much have to like cold turkey her, or put her in a halfway house.
I know.
You gotta take over, or you gotta be a sneaky cook. You gotta be a sneaky cook. Steam the potato, and inside that potato, you're gonna chop up raw celery, onion, garlic, turmeric, scallion, all of this stuff, and fold it in there when the potato is nice and warm, and chop it up, mince it up, really make it like a nice mashed potato, so she can't pick the good stuff, the medicine out. And she's like, ooh, this is nice. Put all her seasoning, all that stuff in there, and you put that raw food in there, and she can't pick it out. That's what you gotta do with the babies too. You see them, they be like, look, you get our little kids before they're corrupted, get some meat, chicken or whatever, spinach, and an apple to eat. If they're not corrupted, they go for red first. They want the apple. If they try the spinach, no, they won't even touch the spinach for the most part. The chicken, they'll try. They'll chew it up and spit it out. The apple, you fix a salad for them, they pick out all the cherries, all the strawberries, all the red. All the red, they don't want grass. Automatically, they don't want spinach, they don't want no grass. They want red, and they want fruit. That's their first option. They chew that meat, it's like trash. There's a meat that they make in Latin cuisine, they call it ropa vieja. You know that. It's like old rags. It tastes like you're eating rags, like, you know, it's like ropa vieja, it's just like the pulled steak. Pulled this or pulled that. They call it ropa, like old rags, like that. Ooh, a baby, like when they try these things, they're like, oh, this is rags, man. I don't want this. They spit it out. They don't know what to do with that. So we gotta reprogram the entire system.
Frozen fruit in the smoothie?
You know, you can get away with it, but once you freeze, you pretty much destroyed the life force. It's dead.
So it's just.
But it's preserved, it's for preserving. You get you get better value out of something that's been frozen than something that's been jerked or roasted or fried or anything like that. Because now you're producing carcinogenic, you know, substance. You know, all that charcoal, charbroiled shit. That's cancer cells you're producing.
Because I'm thinking the balance between them pulling a fresh fruit early and them maturing it at the store with whatever they spray on it versus them flash freezing it on the farm and it's in the frozen section.
Yeah, it's you know, it's a little better.
Okay.
But still, it's better to pick. I think it's better to just pick it premature because something just ripened naturally.
Okay.
Like these plantains. See, you gotta, pick those plantains green, and they're just ripening up. So now they're simmering. Instead of keeping them in the sun, firing up, now they're simmering, and they're gonna eventually become ripe. And that's not bad. But once you freeze the plantain now, it's a different thing. But still, you're still better off than the whole process of cooking. It's a fatal process. Because you kill the food, then the food kills you.
Well, now.
But back to the mushrooms.
You just be dropping these bombs, and you're just like, that makes sense.
So back to the mushrooms. Now,
Stop now? You want to stop?
Yeah.
now you got out of
100%.
the matrix.
Yeah.
And now they hit you now with medicinal mushroom. Medicinal is the new gimmick. Medicinal mushroom. And yeah, chaga, you look at chaga. Chaga is like a sore on the tree. It's a sore. It's a scab, actually. It grows where the tree was severed. You look at a tree that's been cut down and you see the roots and they still growing and you see mushroom popping up between there. I took a photo of one of those one day in my neighborhood of, you see the tree, it's been cut, it's about, 2 feet of the stump still there. And in the roots, you see mushrooms coming out. So I took a photo, put it up on Facebook, and I just put athlete's foot. Holy shit, the mushroom scientists came out at me. They came out at me. I said, isn't this yeast formation going on here? Is it mushroom, and this is a rotten, severed tree, and it's coming out in the roots, it's the toes, and fungus is coming out. Mushrooms is a fungus, isn't it, scientists? And when someone wears, shoes, and they wear the athlete shoes, and they blame it on the athletic shoes and all of that, but it's fungus. So it's no difference to me. It's athlete's foot. But mushroom gangs came out. But you see, interesting, when people come out and attack me like that, when they come to my Instagram and Facebook, I try not to say nothing. And the people would hit them back.
Yeah.
Yeah, people will hit them back. It's like, oh no, the doc is right. Check this, because they'd be like, oh, the mycelium, this, and they coming up with all kind of shit. And I'm like, damn, I ain't never studied those things. Let me just be quiet and see what happens. And then the people who study those things come up and drop the science on them. Oh shit. And they back off.
Yeah, because Sabi was talking about mushrooms come from space. I'm just saying.
Yes.
Dr. Sabi helped save my life. I appreciate him.
Yeah.
But that didn't make sense to me.
So spiders come from space. Drink some spider juice. Cobweb. They probably... No, I love Dr. Sabi. But did you read the stuff that the brother, the medical school student, wrote about Sabi?
Mm-mm.
Oh man, he went after him, man.
Yeah.
He went after him.
Who was that?
No, it wasn't recently. It was like a year after he passed away. And he dropping some big science, and he's like, yeah. And then he doing like Dr. Sabi and his stuff, and Dr. Sabi about, yeah, well, I never been to school. I never went to school. And he said, yeah, this, and then he reads one of Dr. Sabi's quotes. He said, yeah, this sounds like an uneducated person. You got to look him up. I mean, he got the stuff in there. I never keep file of those things, but it's a very brilliant brother that he was in a medical school. And he using all the science that he learned in medical school to counteract stuff that Sabi was saying. But it's in there somewhere. It's probably buried, but you can find it.
So I need to look up the fruits that grow above my head. Fruits that grow. Yeah.
Food, not just fruits, foods.
Food.
Right.
Foods are fruits, nuts and seeds, and
Any plant food that you eat.
okay.
So where
Plant
it
food,
grows.
but not starches.
Well, starch grows beneath your arm's reach.
Right. I gotta go in the ground. Potatoes.
Right. So the deeper you go, the deeper you dig into the ground to get out the food, those foods are going to bring you back down 6 feet deep, quickly.
And it's like, as above, so below. It's a cycle. I'm a part of this. I got it.
So anybody next for the massage?
Yusuf is going.
Yusuf? Okay, great. Okay, well, let's get in the kitchen. We gotta eat now. And we ain't got no mushrooms or none of that stuff. So we gotta.
So what about the leafy greens? So no leafy greens, no spinach.
It's grass. We're not herbivores by nature. We're not grass eaters by nature. Okay? The grass eaters, they have their eyes on the side of their head. When they chew with a 4-way action, up and down and side to side.
Yep.
So they grind the grass into a mulch. They drop it into their stomach. Their stomach have multiple chambers and they're like squeeze bags. And they squeeze it out, then they drop a big load of cow down. You know, we can't do that. So we're not herbivores by nature. We're not herbivores. We are frugivorous or frugivores, fruitarians by nature. Our fruits are all greens, all grass, all lettuce, all spinach, they're all hybrid. They're all manipulated to hold water, to cultivate the way we're cultivating them now. But you can get away with them because they are neutral foods, because they have 50% moisture. And those are the sources of minerals. Your minerals come through the vegetables, especially the green leaves. They're powerhouse of minerals. The best of all green leaf is parsley. But you want to take it in a juice form, because you don't have a cow's gut to make juice from parsley. But thanks to modern technology, the blender, the juicer, the food processor, now you can make parsley juice, spinach juice, lettuce juice, green juice, all of these things. But myself, and that's one of the reasons why the flag went up when kombucha came on the scene, there was a movie that was produced in the 60s. I think it was released in 1973. Look that movie up and sit down and watch it. Soy, S-O-Y, lent, L-E-N-T, green. Soy, lent, green. 1973, that movie was shown. So people like me, who grew up in those times, I'm not a fan of green food. I'm not a fan of green powder that I don't recognize, like spirulina. I've never seen a whole spirulina. Who'd have brought this about? They only sell it in powder. I'm not a green powder person. I'm scared of green powder. Look at Soylent Green. What was it about?
Oh, I never saw it.
You didn't see it. Soylent Green. The planet ran out of food. Like how right now there's a food shortage, and we're running out of food. And this was like done in 73, talking about something in the future when the planet runs out of food. Soy, lent, green. So the biggest food crop today is soy. And it's the most dangerous food to you to eat. It's not even food. Green, everybody that we thought they beat the matrix, they're into green smoothie, green this, green.
That's the one thing I missed.
Green. Green is the big deal. What about yellows and reds and purples and blues and oranges? Green is the backdrop. Green is the canvas.
Yeah.
But when you see Soylent Green, so Soylent Green was that the planet ran out of food and a company produced food. And they call this manufactured food Soylent Green. So where does the Lent come in? Or it just means no food, Lent, to fast. 40 days of Lent.
Yep.
that we just came out of.
Yeah.
So they produced this food called Soylent Green. And this is what everybody was buying and was eating. So you got it?
Nah, I wasn't looking at it, sorry.
Look up Soylent Green for me. And what is Soylent Green made out? I gotta stand up. Soylent Green is made of people.
Yeah, dead bodies.
Dead bodies.
Stop it.
Dead bodies. You remember COVID? You remember all those people that were dying? And they packed them in refrigerators to go bury them? Oh, what the fuck? Where are those folks? And you couldn't go to their funeral? Family couldn't go? Okay. And you still trying to eat some green powder?
Yeah, I'm going to
Oh,
watch
Lord.
that. We're going to watch that.
Oh,
Soylent Green
Lord,
when we
has
get
nothing to
home.
do
We gotta
with
watch
this.
Soylent Green when we get home. Soylent Green.
You know it. My man know it.
I know he knows.
He knows it.
He knows so much.
Yeah, he just don't want to give you too much headache. So he just
No,
you just apply the knowledge and you don't have to know.
That's exactly, and I just follow.
And you trust and you believe and that's all. You
I
know the
just follow
source.
blind. Yes, I do.
You got it right. Y'all got the right equation. You don't want to give her a headache. She don't need to know.
Yeah, she had enough to be on her mind.
Yeah, she don't need to know that she eating great grandmother that just died during COVID, and they repackaged her and sold her to you in a green formula, Soylent Green. And then here comes Bill Gates buying up all the farmland in America
That's what he's doing.
and putting nanoparticles. Nanoparticles. They're saying no more vaccine. The vaccine era is over.
Wow.
They're putting it in the food,
Stop.
in the soil. So these people, these COVID people, all these COVID people that they corralled into refrigerators, what did they do with them? Are they distributing those nanoparticles into the soil now that you don't need no more vaccine? Wake up now. Let's make some food.
Let's make some food.
For somebody.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm
Jesus. Because he's not wrong.
No.
That's the thing, is like, he's not wrong.
You put down the rabbit hole, though.
Look, I'm not putting out no scare tactics. I'm not accusing
No.
nobody.
I'm not.
I am just a kid of the 60s that's still a revolutionary. And we know food is a weapon. All food has been weaponized. So you want to take your chance, make your green smoothie, but don't put none in my glass.
Jeez. Look at how what is that?
I'm the reptilian.
Birthday comes on Saturday. I know. She like, my show, and she's like, oh yeah.
That's my friend. Still in the
And
matrix.
then she tried like she had
But
to
we went across the
see what
street.
you would
There you
further
go.
do
What
like
up?
probably
We
get
think
the
it
moves
was
and everything else so secret. Like she had
So what about all the reptilians? Don't they need
trying to
refrigerators?
get it to
They
where
do, but
I
we
was
don't.
standing certain
I
kind
know,
of
so that's why
like
it's so popular. They want to feel good when they eat it.
like this.
Yeah, you said you can't smoke ganja?
Trying to pull
What?
it to like
No ganja.
crazy popping something.
Can't smoke marijuana.
Tried that, then tried nothing. She
You
tried
want 6 hours? You want 6 hours?
No, we're
You know
doing.
why we
You want
can't?
6 hours? To ask tomorrow.
Yeah. Can I juice it? I know about people who juice it. I just want to know. I just know people who juice it. Don't. And then like that's how they get the.
Look, do you know that they wiped out all the heirloom seed of ganja in the 60s, 70s, and 80s with paraquat? And do you know that the U.S. Corps of Army Engineer been engineering all these seeds that they now getting ready to legalize? The marijuana grown from these seeds. So,
They don't smoke, but damn, what they gonna do to people that do smoke?
I don't know what we're doing.
but you keep smoking your
Just
brains
don't
out. Well, see, that's part of why we eat the bad food, because you're gonna have
talk
to
about
eat
that. Yeah.
killer food if you smoke ganja.
Yeah.
The munchies are real.
Man.
Yes, munchies are very real.
No, it ain't enough.
That ain't gonna do it. You need to
They don't
fry
have,
them
bro.
things. You gonna put them in grit.
You know it, you know it.
You can't just eat
No. When I like first started started losing weight, that was it. I was like, I can't eat all this trash, and I would just have so much fruit, and I would just go ham, and it was great. Eating a mango after you smoke, it's like, it's the best. But I'm a trust it. Look, we here. I'll tell y'all how it goes.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Mango does heighten it, but like
mango is good, but you still went beyond the mango.
Yeah, for sure. No, I had a lot.
I know.
You got the tofu, you got the provision, the yam and the dumpling and everything else.
And the oyster mushroom.
That you can't smoke and not eat that stuff.
That is
You can't,
true.
man.
You cannot.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Dude,
I hear you.
Oh, it's gonna pull you in.
it's gonna pull you in. You come up with stuff, you create stuff.
What do you
We
usually
used
eat when
to
you don't
too.
smoke?
Yeah.
Yeah, blueberries, strawberries, mangoes. I just
You
have
go
kind
sweet?
like a fruit buffet, and I just go crazy. And then I like to have discipline, so I can feel like I want to eat, and I just tell myself like, you're not hungry. This is just
You don't gravitate toward anything that like.
Oh, I used to when I first started smoking, because I didn't smoke till I was 30 something.